it's Amanda here from Lolli Lulu Crafts, and today we are going to be making some Christmas cards. And again, as we've done a few times now, I think we're going to be doing a bulk make, or at least what you could do as a bulk make. I'm only doing them as 6s, but you could do a lot more if you wanted. So we're starting out with a white card base. These are the cards I think I've shown you before, in fact, that I have had made or cut rather for me by a paper mill that I know, and I've had them cut to A6, and I then had a layer made that was a mat for this A6 card that is about a 1/4 inch, so 1/8 of an inch each side smaller. So all I'm going to do now is just score and fold each card base. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is the inserts, and I've got this beautiful coloured vellum that I'm using, and it matches the colours that are in my papers that I'm going to be using on the front. However, the cards that I'm doing are actually landscape, so I can't use the markings on my trimmer here to cut the papers to size, and A6 is a bit of a pain to size up, so I'm just fiddling around here using the tool scoreboard here to mark up exactly the oblong of the A6 insert, and then I'm going to just use those marks and cut it very slightly smaller so that it just sits inside my A6 card. And having done one, it's very simple then to do the rest. You just use that first one as your measuring template. So I did 4 in pink and 2 in green. That's so that they complement the cardstock that I intend to use on the fronts of the cards. And then all I did was use my tape pen, put a line across the top. I wanted this to be a loose insert, not fully stuck down, and because it's a coloured vellum, you're really not going to see that line of tape. So then I'm just going to stick them all in one go. I find that's much quicker to do each procedure when you're doing bulk makes. So complete one section and then move on to the next thing. So in this case, complete all of the inserts being stuck in, and don't they look gorgeous? So next we're going to work on the fronts, and I'm using the matte layer that I had created in the white cardstock, and all I'm doing is I'm taking that mat and I'm taking a tape pen. I'm running in the tape pen, or you could use wet adhesive if you prefer, and I'm just running that around all 4 sides, a bit in the middle, and then I'm sticking it down onto the back of my piece of paper. I'm sticking it as much into the corner as possible because that makes it easier from the point of view of cutting. But if you're a little bit unsure about your cutting skill, or rather your sticking skills, then just stick it slightly more into the center and cut all 4 sides. I use my trimmer here to cut, but you could of course use scissors. Now for speed, again as before, I will do all the processes in sort of bulk. So for this, I'm going to stick all my pieces of card down, and then I'm going to cut them all out. Now, again for speed, I'm sticking these as much as possible into the corner, so I only have 2 sides to cut. But again, if you're a little bit unsure about being able to get that accurate, then just plonk it straight in the middle. As long as it's straight, it will be fine. And here they are all done. Don't they look gorgeous? I think they look really effective, and when you see it here, just putting it up against the card base, you can see just that lovely little white border. It's just nice and fresh, just gives it a bit of a lift. It looks really pretty. So next we are going to be doing some tags, and I'm going to be using this Pink by Design Holiday Cheer Wishing You a Christmas Wrapped in Joy stamp, and my Spellbinders Back to Basics tags dies. So in order to be sure that the white of my tag matches perfectly to the white of my card, I'm actually going to use some of the layers that go with the cards. Now my stamp, as you will notice here, I have chopped up because the way that it was set out in the original was just not going to work for my little die cut tag. So I decided to cut the words up, and then I could position them in a way that would work for the little tag as I wanted it to. So once I'm fairly happy with that, I want to obviously just check that the layout will fit within my little tag. Now it may look like it won't, but don't forget that the die cut is bigger, it's up to that line, so you need to take that into account. Then I've just picked it up on my stamp platform. It's going to be easier to use this because I'm not going to have to redo the actual stamp. I can just move my actual paper around, and then I'm using my Versafine, inked it up and stamped, and then all I'm going to do is twist it around, trying to work out which way to go and making sure that it's roughly in the right place, because I have to bear in mind that I need to die cut both of these, and then I will stamp again, and then I've obviously got 4 more to do on another piece of card. So having stamped them, the next thing to do is actually die cut our little tags out. So using my Sizzix, my magnetic platform, my plate, and then my card and my die, then my final plate, I've put that through the machine, and obviously I will do that for each one. And here is the first one all done. Doesn't that look really cute? And here are the rest all done, and I think they look really adorable. So going back to our card fronts and our layers, we are going to use the Divine Twine in a pink and a beautiful limey green, and we are going to basically make our fronts look like presents by wrapping twine round like you would round a gift. So I want it to be a double thickness of the twine, just to make sure that it does stand out across the pattern paper. So I'm just measuring out that I get enough to go around my layer here, so 2 there and 2 there, plus enough for a bit extra for a bow, etc. So having folded the twine in half, I've taken it evenly across the center so each side has the same amount. Then I've taken it round the back, twisted it, and then taken it back round to the front. I'm taking it off to one side, but you can do it however you want. I'm then taking a single knot, but I'm taking that piece, that tail, underneath the horizontal piece of twine, and then knotting the second knot around both the vertical and the horizontal. This way it holds our horizontal and vertical in position to each other, as well as just holding it tight. So it gives us a really good thing where it actually literally holds that cross in the right place. It's not going to change. And then just taking a pair of scissors, I've snipped where I'd folded it, and then I take those 2 ends and thread it through my little tag. I'm doing another single knot, just taking that through the hole there, both again still with both pieces of twine, and then fiddling around just to make sure it's sitting correctly. It's not going to be 100% perfect, but it's not necessary for it to be either, because you're going to stick your tag down anyway, so it's just roughly in the right direction. And then all I'm doing is creating a nice little bow on the top there. So next, taking some foam squares, I'm just cutting one in half because I've got some of these long ones, but I think you can get some nice big square ones as well. And I'm just taking one of those, and I'm going to pop it onto the back of my tag here and stick that down. And that way I can be sure that it's always going to stay in the position that I want it to be in, rather than moving around. And it still looks like it's kind of loose and part of the package, not stuck down, because of the 3D foam. And there they are, all done, and I think they look really nice. I particularly like the pink one at the back there. They're all with the Merry Christmas on. But I actually think they all look really nice. I'm really pleased with those. And so you can see there's some with the green twine and some with the pink. So now that's done, I'm turning them over, and I'm putting some 3D foam on the back of all of the layers here. I decided that it would just look more effective having that extra bit of dimension. There's not a lot going on with these cards, so I thought that would look really good. So I've put it on all of the backs of the little layers here, peeled off all of the little papers, and now I'm adding some Cosmic Shimmer glue to my 3D foam, having made sure that I've got the correct coloured insert card, so a green insert for this particular card because it has a green twine. I am then sticking my layer front onto the front of my card, and having the Cosmic Shimmer is just going to get extra strength, so it's not going to come off, but also gives you that little bit of wriggle room if you don't get it quite right. And then I just did all the rest exactly the same, and here they are all done, and that is it. I think they look really effective and actually relatively simple to do, and you could do them with all sorts of different papers, different sentiments, so you could make them look quite different as well, and different colours, and it would just look really cool. And again, another really simple but I think very effective Christmas card at a time when we really do need to make quite a lot, but obviously so therefore we need to make them as easy as possible, still looking fabulous. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. As always, don't forget to go on across to the blog post if you're on YouTube, take a look at the paragraph below this video, click on show more, and you will find the link to the blog post. On the blog post you will find loads of photos and links to products used. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now. Bye.